Hey, this is Three Ways to Shorten Your Sales Calls by Alex Berman from Inspire Beats. Who am I? I am the Chief Marketing Sumo at InspireBeats.com. I've generated over $20 million in leads in the last year and sold over $2 million in B2B. Also a digital nomad. And right now I'm growing out a beard. I don't know if you can tell. So I used to have hour and multi-hour long meetings with clients to pitch services. Um, I used to have them to bring them coffee, get them into the office, like set up the whole room. Big waste of time. Um, I even gave away one time a free half day workshop, and the deal never closed. So at $150 an hour with like four or five people in the room. So that was like, yeah, huge waste of time and money. It's unnecessary to do that, even for very large deals. And I'll tell you how. So what I'm doing at Inspire Beats, what we're all doing here, is our average lifetime value is over 20K. Our product is lead generation and outreach. Our minimum with outreach is $8.99 a month. And our sales calls, I sell with only 20-minute calls. Here's my calendar here, and you can see I fit 6, 7 meetings, 8 meetings into a day. 23, 24% close rate on them, and I still have so much more time to do activities and do other work and do marketing and make other videos. And it's because the calls are so short. So here's how you can do the same with your company. 3 ways to shorten sales calls. Number 1, the default meeting time is 20 minutes, right? If you make a meeting an hour, it's going to last an hour. This is Parkinson's Law. Basically, the amount of time something takes expands to fill the amount of time you give it. So if you make a meeting 20 minutes, the meeting's going to have to last 20 minutes. Everything's going to get done. That's Parkinson's Law. So use a calendar app and have the default time be 20 minutes. That's the first tip. Almost nobody's going to ask for a longer meeting. They're just going to accept whatever the default is. People love to be led in all situations. So I only got asked one time for a longer meeting, and it was some guy who didn't actually have the money and ended up not buying. I did a previous video about why not to lower your rates, and it's to screen out people like that guy. So calendar apps you can use to do this. Here are 3. The first is X.AI. I used to use this a lot. Basically artificial intelligence calendar scheduling. The second one is Schedule Once. It's a scheduling link you send people and they can book directly on your calendar. The third one is my personal favorite. I'm using this all the time, Calendly. Simple, beautiful scheduling. I think it's like $10 a month, and it plugs directly into your calendar, and people can book directly from there. So here's how to send the calendar link to clients as well. Great to be in touch, fairly open next week. Do any of the times here work for you? And you can just link directly to the calendar and they'll book right there. Once you have the default time at 20 minutes, right, that's the first shift. You want to further encourage the shorter meeting by having only one agenda item. So the only agenda item on your sales calls should be finding out if they're a fit for your company. Secondary, convincing them to go with you. So ask your qualification questions, explain your business, get their interest. There's a bunch of other videos. You can do research and find out what qualification questions to ask and all of that. Several that I've made. And also about how to pitch your business. So you want to close on the call if they're very eager, but that's not the goal here. Otherwise, you just want to see if they're going to buy eventually and then find out what the next steps are going to be. So here's a quick outline for your sales calls. 1, pitch your company in 2 sentences. 2, have them explain their company and their problems. 3, ask your closing questions, right? Does this sound like a good fit for you? Are there any other people we need to convince? What's a good next step here? Basically, questions that are going to move along the deal. 4, confirm what the next steps are. Those are the only 4 things you have to do. 3. The only 4 things you have to do on this call here. So you can do this in as little as 5 minutes, but normally it takes about 20 minutes if you have more complex products or they have very detailed questions. So once you get interests and from them and find out the next steps to close, the third thing you want to do is answer all the other questions over email. So your potential customers are really busy, right? They're running successful companies or else they wouldn't be able to afford your services. So they don't want to waste time on calls with salespeople. They just want to get work done. So a call, video, and in-house meeting, they all serve the same purpose psychologically, and that is to build relationships so that the people that are buying from you feel better about working with another person, right? They feel better. They feel like you're going to treat them right, that you're honest, because you're a human and they met you and they talked to you, right? Things that don't really get conveyed over text. The thing is, you can build a relationship on one quick call and do everything else over email. Here's an example of a bunch of questions somebody asked me after the email went out. So they wanted all this other detail, which we didn't cover in the call, but I was able to send them. If you want faster responses, you can also use a chat program like Skype for quicker follow-ups if you don't want to do it over email. Here's a guy, we had a 21-minute call, and he signed up within 1 minute after the call, which that's always good. This guy's pretty awesome. Only call them if they don't respond to a few emails in a row and you're wondering where they are. Then you can give them a quick call. And basically the goal of that would just be figure out what's going on and try to close the deal or progress. So to recap, we've got 3 ways to shorten your sales calls. 1, your default meeting is 20 minutes by default. 2, you only have 1 agenda item for the call, just to vet them, figure out if they're a good fit for you. 3, answer all other questions and even try to close the deal over email. So any questions for me, feel free to reach out. Here's my info, alex@inspirebeats.com. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you need leads or you want outbound sales support for your startup, agency, or other B2B company, feel free to reach out at inspirebeats.com. There's a contact form right at the bottom. Just fill it out. And do me a favor and tell them that I sent you over there from YouTube. All right, I will talk to you later. Thanks.